touch the button, and you could bid for a bicycle or a power saw. Not on the tube, on QUBE.
This is an NBC News follow-up. Talking back to television, here is NBC News correspondent Fred Briggs in Columbus, Ohio.
Good evening. In December of 1977, a new type of cable television service was inaugurated here in Columbus, Ohio. A development that may have become a milestone of sorts. Here is how this was originally reported by correspondent Eric Burns.
The news in Columbus, Ohio is that yesterday, December 1st, 1977, was QUBE Day. QUBE is a cable television service that lets viewers be part of the program they're watching by pushing the buttons on this box.
Going to throw in something here.
One of the things that viewers in Columbus got to do last night was choose the name of a baby girl who was born yesterday afternoon.
We would like for you, as godparents of this child, to pick the name. From these choices, number 1, May. Choice number 2, Elizabeth. Choice number 3, Bernadette. Or choice number 4, Linda. Touch now.
Susie Russell picked Elizabeth. That's her husband John's mother's name.
43 like Elizabeth. 6% like May. 25 Bernadette. And 26 like Linda. You rascals, you. All right. They all picked Elizabeth as the name that they have chosen.
The Russells are among 1,500 viewer participants so far in Columbus who are able to participate because the control room at the cable television station has a computer in it. When the people at home push their buttons, their responses travel through wires which are strung on telephone poles. The responses are transmitted to the computer and translated by the computer almost instantly, which is important if you're playing a version of The Gong Show.
Our first act this evening's got more steps than the state capitol, I guarantee you. A group of 7- and 8-year-olds from Reynoldsburg who have appeared at the Ohio State Fair as well as other local festivals. Please welcome these future Rockettes, the Little Miss Line. Come on out here. All right.
Susie Russell voted not to Gong. Warner Communications has invested more than $10 million in viewer participation television. John and Susie Russell are paying $10.45 a month for it.
Gee, I think what they have done is shown with the various demonstrations the great versatility that they have in their hands and the great amount of different kinds of programming they can do for the Columbus audiences. I think it's great.
Oh, it's great fun. It really makes the viewer much more a part of television. I enjoy it.
As a footnote to this story, here are some of the predictions we've heard about the future of viewer participation television. People will be able to buy food and clothes and automobiles, do their banking, express opinions during legislative debates, vote, and play the Gong Show until they finally get it out of their systems. Eric Burns, NBC News, Columbus, Ohio.
That was 19 months ago. Since then, the number of households here has more than doubled. And in this new technology, a new kind of viewer has been born. A viewer with a much greater freedom of choice and, to some extent, a personal sense of being able to influence those choices. Cable television itself is nothing new. When it began almost 20 years ago, it was simply a way to bring television into isolated rural or mountain communities that couldn't receive signals from stations in larger cities. But as the cable industry grew, it started providing its own programming, live sports events, movies, entertainment specials, things not available on the networks. Columbus, with a population of 600,000, is the most cableized city in the United States. 77% of its households have cable television. 4 cable TV companies operate here, including one that is owned by and programs for blacks. And yet there are 3 commercial channels and 1 public broadcasting channel here. What cable seems to offer is an almost infinite variety of programs. Warner Communications' QUBE system does that with 30 channels divided into 3 categories. One group brings in existing TV stations, including those in Columbus.
Now, let's join Jim and...
There's a group of pay TV channels offering recent movies, variety specials, sports. If you switch to one of these, you are automatically billed whatever the charge per program happens to be. The most expensive program thus far was an Ohio State football game for $9. Here in Woody Hayes land, few complained about paying that. It's the third category, the 10 community channels that make the QUBE system unique. These include debates, games, public affairs programs that give viewers a feedback. The 5 response buttons on the control console are tied in with QUBE's computers, allowing almost instant polling on virtually any issue. Phil Donahue brought his show here to see how this works.
These are questions that we developed, and we thought maybe you'd like to share with us some of the answers, all right? Here's question number 3. Do you believe in abortion on demand? 1 is yes, 2 is no, 3 only if the mother's life is in danger. Okay? Here's the answer. 50% believe yes, 12% say no, and 39% believe only if the mother's life is in danger. How do you feel about those numbers? Is that a surprise to you? All right.
Other public figures have visited and sampled opinions on themselves and on their causes. The 30,000 subscribers are generally white, middle-income families, not really representative of Columbus as a whole, but uncannily representative of what is usually called Middle America. Polls taken before last year's congressional elections were almost identical to the results of those elections. Not surprisingly, local politicians have made use of this.
In the last 2 bad winters that we had, there was considerable criticism of the mayor because of his inability to remove the snow from the streets. And I was able to have a very frank discussion with the viewing audience about whether or not they would favor an increase in taxes and earmarking of certain funds in order to provide for additional equipment or additional snow removal service. And the public was very frank in telling me no, they did not want to pay any more money for it. They wanted me to do the job with the resources that were available.
So they sent you a message?
They sent me a message, and it is a message which I have heeded.
This is the suburb of Upper Arlington. Some months ago, a new master plan for the town was discussed on QUBE, and only Upper Arlington viewers could receive this program. Narrowcasting, some call it, selective programming for one portion of QUBE subscribers who were given their say in question after question on the town's future development. If questions were too simplified, viewers could press a button, bringing a telephone call, putting them on the air, a public hearing in private homes.
If you want to talk to them, you have to press a certain button and they'll call you back. It is amazing how fast they call you back, how fast the computer will give out that information. That was kind of scary.
Isn't it a little scary sometimes? That's my point.
That was kind of scary that, you know, it was a matter of 4 or 5 minutes and they had our name and address and telephone number and called us back.
Last Sunday, President Carter's energy speech was subjected to QUBE polling on NBC's Primetime Sunday, just minutes after the speech ended. Correspondent Jack Perkins in Columbus.
Does the president's speech leave you, button 1, optimistic, button 2, pessimistic, or button 3, confused? Well, here are the results. 61% say they are now optimistic. So let's go on to the next question. The next question we'd like to ask you, viewers of the QUBE system, is this. Are you more confident now about the president's ability to lead the nation? As the computer tabulates them and displays them, 43% are more confident now about the president's ability to lead the nation, 33% not so, 24% not sure. Then the next question we would like to ask would be this one. Are President Carter's plans to deal with the energy shortage, do you believe, tough enough? Well, the sampling of people here in Columbus say about split between yes and no, with 20% not sure. It must be fascinating for a president to see this glimpse into the future, an instant reaction to a speech.
This is QUBE's computer room. The computer not only tallies up a poll in seconds, but it has the capability of knowing how each household voted in the poll. It also knows what programs each household is viewing and actually prints out audience ratings every 6 seconds. This area is under extremely strong security, as it should be. But the very fact that the computer could record each subscriber's vote on any issue suggests overtones of 1984 to some. Gustav Hauser, the developer of QUBE, says such fears are groundless.
In the program that followed the president's speech on Sunday night, we absolutely took great pains to avoid any possibility of monitoring anyone's individual response to any question. And I can guarantee you that we did not.
Viewers here don't seem concerned about it. They pay $10.95 a month for 30 channels plus extra charges for the pay TV offerings. And they like the choice. They also like having a voice.
QUBE has spent between $20 and $30 million proving its point here in Columbus. It has proved it well enough to try it next year in Houston. That service will be introduced there. Other cities are also showing quite a bit of interest. It is exciting, challenging, and like all new technologies, just a bit frightening. Frightening to viewers, to civil libertarians, and I suspect to networks, including this one. But it is here. Fred Briggs, NBC News, Columbus, Ohio.
This has been an NBC News follow-up.
Touch the button and treat your friends to spectacular entertainment from Las Vegas. Not on the tube, on QUBE.
Hi, I'm Michael Young, and guess what? Columbus Goes Bananas is going to be at the Ohio State Fair starting August 15th through the 26th. We're going to have the regular Bananas excitement and dancing and craziness. Plus, we're going to have a lot of things like, well, take a look at this. Hey, who knows what we're going to have? So you want to be sure to join us Monday through Saturday at our new time, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night. Great, huh? We're going to be at the QUBE Pavilion, which is very close to the grandstand. So you want to come down and be part of our live audience and get in on the excitement? But if you can't make it to the fair, don't panic, because we're going to be on QUBE Channel C1. So be sure to watch us, okay? Columbus Goes Bananas.